In 1886, Carl Benz received a patent for an automobile. But he didn't invent it first, and he didn't create the first self-propelled vehicle either. Let's find out who invented the car and how. The first ideas. As far back as 500 years ago, the famous Italian genius Leonardo da Vinci invented and sketched a carriage that could travel independently. Unfortunately, the technology of the time did not allow to create a working example. A century later, China and all of its inventions were revealed to Europeans. To the Dutchman Simon Stevin, the Chinese showed carts with sails that could move without the help of a horse. This invention either did not gain popularity or was simply invented by a Dutchman. Slower than a man, but rides itself. The first car with an engine, though a steam one, was invented by Nicolas Cunho. It took place in 1769 in France. His self-propelled car had to stop every 20 minutes to accumulate steam. Its maximum speed was, attention, 3 kilometers per hour. For comparison, when walking peacefully, your speed is 5 kilometers/h. Nevertheless, even such a turtle was useful. It helped the artillerymen to transport guns. The first production car. The first production car was created by the purposeful German Carl Benz in 1886. It took him more than 10 years to develop the optimal version of a car. What kind of car did he have as a result? His car was called the Benz Patent Motorwagen. It was a small 3-wheeled wagon only 2.5 meters long with rear wheels spinning. A 4-stroke single-cylinder engine, which was under the seat, accelerated the car up to 16 kilometers per hour. It had less than 1 horsepower, and the tank volume was 4 liters. Benz also made 2 very important inventions which he applied in his car. He created spark plugs and a gearbox. In spite of the fact that his design was innovative, his car did not want to be bought, and Benz's production ended on the 25th car. Cars were invented, but only a few people around the world drove them. To make them popular was the American Henry Ford, who, like Benz, worked long and hard on his models. In 1903, his company put on the market the Ford A with a 2-cylinder engine of 8 horsepower and chain drive. The car was a resounding success. 1,700 cars were sold within a year. But Ford did not think to stop. All his profit went to the development of production, which allowed him to raise sales of the Ford A up to 45,000 per year. Ford's main idea was to make the car accessible to the average American. This idea he implemented in 1908 when he created the Ford T. This car cost only $1,100 and was constantly becoming cheaper, which made it incredibly popular among the people. Just 6 years after production began, the company celebrated the release of its 10 millionth anniversary model. The Ford T could accelerate up to 70 kilometers per hour, much faster than an American would have needed in the early 20th century. Ford's 4-cylinder engine was considered modern in those days. It had a displacement of almost 3 liters and a power output of 20 horsepower. The transmission was a 2-speed. We traced the history of the car from the first idea to its worldwide popularity. So who invented the car? It's impossible to answer precisely, but each of the inventors mentioned made a major contribution to the creation of the automobile. Frenchman Nicolas Cunho in creating the first self-propelled steam-powered car. The German Carl Benz and put the car into mass production. The American Ford made it popular. Who do you think is the inventor of the car? Write your answers in the comments.